Welcome to the Voice to Artistry series, short lessons to amplify your skills for the vocal recording and production course. Let's dive in and have fun.
Hi folks, so let's jump straight into the topic of today. I want to show you how to open a Logic project. So just in case you don't know, this is not part of the course, but because it's vital, so let's have a look. So, of course, Logic, as we now know, it's a Mac application, only runs with Mac computers. So that assumes that you either have or have access to a Mac computer. MacBook Air would do, MacBook Pro, of course, iMac, Mac Studio, Mac Pro, iMac Pro, all of those, all right? Even Mac Mini, if you got Logic. So, how do you do this? First of all, you have to go to the Finder. So, in the dock, here, I hope you can see where my pointer is. So, if you open that one, you can double click. At the first time when you open a new window in Finder, you go to the Recent, okay? Then click on the sidebar. In the Applications, okay? There is a key command for that, so it's if you want to jump straight into that, you press Command, Shift, and the letter A. Oops, sorry. And then in here, you want to locate Logic, okay? So if I scroll down quickly, there it is. You got different ways you can use to open Logic. You can use some key commands. You can press Command O, or you can double click with your mouse. So one or the other. And when you do that, you wait a little bit. Now it's, loading, but we're nearly there. And in a second or two, it's going to be done. Still searching for audio units plugins. It takes a while, but we get in there. All right. Now, this is the thing that you see now when it says, what do you want to do now? It's the way I set up my Logic. So forget about it. We can just go to Cancel. And I'll show you what happens when you open Logic for the very first time. So you will see something like this, okay? In this first table, you will see, my templates, project demo, tutorials, live loops, recents, etc., etc. If you have never used it before, go to New Project. And then if you go to Collection, click on Empty Project. Then at the very first time, if you don't know what these things are, you can just press on Choose. And then you'll end up here. I will put Logic in full screen. Oh, sorry. I forgot. So before we do that, putting Logic in full screen, this is the menu that I want you to get familiar with, okay? So in here, you need to tell Logic what kind of track you want to create. By default, it goes to the first one, software instrument. Then we have another kind of software instrument. This is not what we are going to cover. So for the moment, ignore this, please. It's okay. So ignore it, please. It's absolutely fine. Drummer, once again, and it's not what we are going to cover on this course. So forget it. Audio. This is the one we want. So click that one. And then here you can decide if you want to tell logic more. This is something that, by the way, you can do after. So, but anyway. Oops. Sorry, here I am again. So in here, if you know what this is, for the moment probably you don't, or maybe you do because you've done some logic courses. If you know, you can select the inputs. The microphone is by default on input number 1. If you have more than one input on your audio interface, and you know that your input source, hence microphone or guitar or whatever, is on input 3, you can, decide that here, as well as the output. Here you can tell Logic if you want by default to open the library, which is something I don't usually do, so I usually untick that one. Sorry, my Logic keeps jumping. So I jumped here because by default I got my headphones on now, but I don't want Logic to go there. So I can change it here. That's my audio interface, the Audient ID44. I click there. That's okay, the input, and I press apply at the bottom. And now unclose this one. I think I've said everything I needed to say to Logic, and I can now press create. We're gonna wait a little. And here we go, right? So, quick exploration. This is the inspector, the tracks, control bar. So that's what you do when you open a new project by default, or sometimes there's also the library there. And that's it for this video. So that's how you open a new Logic project. Next time I'll show you how to import your very first project and how to set up a few other things. That's all for now. I hope it was helpful. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on our podcast. We hope you found our content insightful and thought-provoking. Before we go, we'd like to thank all our listeners for their invaluable support. If you enjoyed our podcast and want to contribute to its growth, please consider making a donation via PayPal to delilisantonio@gmail.com. That's D for Delta, E for Echo, L for Lima, I for India, L for Lima, L for Lima, I for India, S for Sierra, A for Alpha, N for November, T for Tango, O for Oscar, N for November, I for India, O for Oscar @gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening.